Make sure you stick around to the end of this episode where Frankie will give you an update on our latest giveaway. You do not want to miss it. It could be a historic one. Enjoy the show. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the 1885 show, your pre-match warm-up at the hands of Oxford United, who come to the Den for the last time in the regular season. Millwall will be playing a home match before we either end up as a Premier League football club next season or we're back at the Den for a feisty playoff match. Joining me this evening, we've got my co-founder, co-host, Frankie. Frankie, how are you, mate?
Very good, mate. Looking forward to the show. Looking forward to the weekend. It's been we haven't been going doing this podcast very long. Before, it's been a really long journey. To be sitting here thinking this could be our last of a warm-up show as a Championship football club is mental.
Oh yeah,
that is mental.
You're gonna make whatever hair I've got left on my head stand up talking about Premier League football like that. And we've also got Marathon Man Matt. Matt, how are you, mate?
I'm all good, thanks very much, Jay. Yes, recovered well, slight pains, but nothing that I can't manage. And like you, exciting to see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll talk to you in a little second, Matt, about the marathon and the calls that you ran for. But before we do that, let's get into some boring matters of business that we're going to get out of the way. For those of you that do like the content, only 60% of you are subscribers that watch our content. So please drop a like, drop a share and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, but it does help us bring more Millwall content your way if you enjoy it, that is. Also, this is brought to you, as you can see at the bottom, in partnership with our friends at Small Beer. And like our opening launch day at home to QPR, the tap room will be open again and we'll be there from 11 a.m. onwards. So get down there, bring your kids, bring your pets if you like. We'll be there from 11 a.m. and we'll be back there after the game. Well, in what could be a bit of a celebratory drink up. So yeah, meet us down there from 11 a.m. Come see us, come say hello and enjoy the festivities. With that, let's get stuck straight into our show then. But first, Matt, you did run the London Marathon at the weekend, as many other Millwall fans did, and we wish all the other Millwall fans and everybody else that ran the marathon, we hope you're feeling good, we hope you raised enough money, and we hope that your cause was well sought after. Good luck and well done to everybody. But one of our own did run it. Matt, how are you feeling? You did say you're feeling all right, but talk to us a little bit more about the day, mate, about the charity, and how much have you raised for your cause?
Yeah, so and let's not hide about it. It's a long day. So I had a sort of 11 o'clock start in the morning, but was at Greenwich Park roughly about 9:30, so to obviously limber up, loiter around, put your bag in, and yeah, you just have to wait until your time is to go out. And so you set off. First and foremost, the crowd is unbelievable. I mean, you don't matter which part of the route it is, there's people cheering you on, and you know, in some cases it's a bit quiet. In most cases, it's really, really loud, and the atmosphere was electric. It was quite nice. Got a few meals because I got the shorts on, so I had a few spectators giving us a bit of a chance. So that was really good. And no, it was a great event. I think I might have misinterpreted the heat. It was about 16, 17, but when you're going around Canary Wharf and you've got the sun beating on the skyscrapers and the windows, that 17 turns into probably about 25, 26. So it does take its toll on the day, but no, I got round. I was quicker than Daddy Pig. I'm pleased with that one, definitely. But, yeah, just five and a half hours it took me. But you know what? It's the time went out the window after all. Probably the majority of the race was done, going over Tower Bridge and going around sort of like all the landmarks, Quay Sark, Westminster, and then I've managed to run on the Mall on the way on the end. So really, really good. I raised well over £2,500 for the breast cancer charity Pink Ribbon Foundation. So very, very happy with that. And I thank everyone that donated to the charity. It's gone to a very, very important cause, like all the charities that not just Millwall fans, but all football fans across the world really done. But yeah, there was some interesting characters. There was one guy with an inflatable rainbow that I saw him make a beeline off track, and I thought I was going to the toilet, and then actually came back in front of me with an ice cream. So he's actually went to the ice cream man. So I that was always one of the funniest moments. A couple of good signs, especially you saying one if you think West Ham will get relegated. So I did. I ran a little bit quicker. But no, all in all, great spectacle. I highly recommend anyone doing it, whether it be through the ballot or for the charity. But I can honestly say that I've got my personal best and I'm retiring from all marathon running. So thanks very much for everyone that donated. And yeah, the medals, I would have it with me, but yeah, I'm at work. So the medals at home ready to be mounted up on the wall, and I'll be looking at and look for our next challenge, which I probably might drag you lot boys into next time.
Excellent, mate, and well done. And as Matt said, well done to everybody else that ran for their cause as well. And we hope you raised enough money. Someone actually ran it in 2 hours, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't see it, but if I was a betting man,
two people
so
did it in 2
ran it.
hours.
It must have been Camille Negley and then Camille Negley again. He must have gone back to the start and just fancied it again, because I'm certain he'd run it in 2 hours. But no, brilliant. Well done to everybody involved, and well done to you, Matt, as well. Excellent stuff. Let's get into, though, the nitty-gritty of what we want to talk about, and that is our last home game against Oxford United. Relegated Oxford United, who come to the Den for the 46th game this season. Let's get stuck into the first segment. That is the tale of the tape. And the tale of the tape makes quite interesting reading, to be honest. Millwall, we've 4 on the bounce. We're unbeaten now. We've won 2, drawn 2, and lost 1. That loss coming at home to Norwich City. Bit of a contrast for Oxford and all. They've really given it some fight towards the end of the season. Fair play to them. They last time out, they was victors over lowly Sheffield Wednesday, 4-1 win. They lost 2 before that to playoff hopefuls Wrexham and Derby County. Beat Watford at home and drew away with Portsmouth. They're actually 11th in the form guide for the last 5. Goal difference of +3, picking up 7 points. We're 9th, so we're not too far ahead of them in the form table with a goal difference of +3, 8 points picked up. The last 5 that we've actually played, though, against Oxford, it is not pretty reading. Close your eyes, listeners, if you're watching. We've only had 2 draws and we've lost 3 of our last 5 against Oxford. I was there in the away game in the 2-2 draw. We all know what happened in Alex Neil's first home game of his reign as Millwall manager at the hands of Gary Rowett as well. Frankie, I'll come to you, mate. I mean, it doesn't look pretty, does it? And it's another team that we seem to struggle against. A bit of a bogey for us.
Yeah, big time, mate. Big time. It's you read through it and you hear that, you think to yourself, Jesus Christ, it's going to be another long afternoon down the Den, right, of a team that's going to come in and stink the gaff out, be defensive and make it hard for us. And do you know what? Part of me thinks so they should. I know they're on the beach and they want nothing to play for and their season's over, but they've got to play for pride, right? And the integrity of the league is they go and do their best for 46 games of the season. So I'm sure we'll be up for a tough game. It feels like Oxford's always a fairly significant game in our season as well. I mean, just looking back over the last 3 times we played them, there was obviously the first time we played them away last year was the Neil Harris game where him and the fans had a bit of a coming together at the end, should we say. So that was a bit of a significant game in our history. Then there was, I believe, Alex Neil's first game was Oxford at home against Gary Rowett. The away game, we got a couple of injuries that game. That's probably, and then that was a bit of a turn in our season for a bit of a negative run of form as well. And then this year we could potentially get promoted playing them. So it's going to be a tough one. It always is, but let's see how we get on. Just do what you can, boys.
What is it about these teams, Matt? I mean, we seem to be this team that we'd rather our running be Ipswich, Coventry, Middlesbrough. Is it we like to be a team that tends to want to give the opposition the ball. We like to be a bit more structured, hit on the counter, press really well. That seems to be a type of, and we'll look at what the Oxford do well and don't do well, but it does speak, without giving too much away, that they like to do pretty much the same. It's sort of, no, you have it, you have it. And do we struggle to break them teams down? Is that why we struggle against teams like Oxford?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's, we've never been a team that have been on the front foot and had possession. And when we do, we just look very uncomfortable about it. However, I also think there's a bit of a psychological aspect to this, where you look at it on paper and you think Oxford at home, you know, we're big on paper. We are bigger than him in terms of stature and size and even crowds. And I think there's an element of, well, we have got every right to win this game, and I think that's our downfall. And it's not just Oxford. I think we go back to the faithful Blackburn game. I always think every time we see Blackburn turn up, I always think we're better than them, just purely simply because their crowds are small, they don't travel well, and I think that there's an element of an arrogance around it, and I think that's our downfall, because
That's interesting.
we have the expectations to say, well, you turned up and we're expecting to win. And personally, I think that's always going to be an issue. Like, we need to treat each game as if they are the better team, if that's how we get the best out of our players. But on most occasions, it always turns around and bites us on the arse, really, at the end of the day. And, we always get ourselves in a bit of a sticky situation.
Yeah, we do, don't we, Frank? It's a bit. It's very, very strange. It's almost like we know what the problem is. We know that these teams that set up with a bit of a low block, that like to be compact, they like to defend well. Oxford have got some good players. They like to defend well, and they like to be clinical when they can hit you on the break. Well, it's almost, it's been that way for a very, very long time. We know it's that way. What can we do though to try and change that narrative? I mean, is it formation? Is it setup? Is it what would you put it down to? Why we struggle against these teams? Because I'd be honest with you. I mean, everyone's saying Oxford, this is a perfect game. This is an already relegated team, the second bottom. They're coming to the Den. I'm more nervous about playing this type of game because, as Matt said, look, the wheels are off now, right? They can play with freedom. The structure goes out the window. We saw it at Leicester. You'd rather them not be relegated, because then they're probably going to be a bit more true to their game. They're probably going to stick to what they do best, and then we'll have a bit more tape on them where Neil can sort of scout what they're doing. We can see what they're going to do well, what they're not going to do well. When they're already relegated and they're just playing for maybe future contracts, I believe that some of them are better than League One players, probably playing for moves. Yep. It's going to be go out there and just showcase yourself. So is there going to be any structure, any tape for us to actually maul over, or is it going to be just go and have fun? It's quite hard to navigate that type of setup now.
It is. It's a difficult game to approach because there's no pressure on them, right? Their sole goal tomorrow Saturday is to ruin the party almost. So in terms of setup and stuff and how do we approach the game, I think to both of your point, we've seen so many different iterations of Millwall sides, whether that be Gary Rowett's five at the back, and we've got a load of experienced journeyman sort of players in the squad that have been there, seen there, done it. Or now when you've got a younger team that you think, well, actually, you shouldn't have the demons of the past sort of thing. And we still struggle. So I don't think there's a formation that we can sit there and go, just play this formation, we'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's the answer. I think the reason we have these issues, the issues that Matt alluded to earlier, I think it is all psychological. I think it's all about the mindset and the mentality of the players. And I think the biggest issue that I think we have when we go into these games, I think we give teams confidence. I think we start slowly, we give them something to defend, and then they start to look. Funny enough, any team can look half decent when you give them time on the ball and you give them a little bit of confidence, don't they? We could put a side out and we'd look half decent if you let us just have a little jog around for the first 15 minutes. If we start quick, put them under pressure, get an early goal in the first 15, 20 minutes, the game looks very different at that point onwards. Look at QPR. We need to start quick, and if we can do that, I think we're halfway there.
I think that was our problem at Leicester, Matt, right? It's this exact same scenario. We didn't get that early goal, and then there was a few chances, the odd missed pass, and then the pressure starts to build, not from the fan base, but the pressure starts to build internally, right? It's almost like they're
Yes.
looking at the clock. It's ticking down, it's ticking down. For us, it feels like it's gone as quick as anything. For them, it's, for us, it feels like it's going for a lifetime, that type of game. For the players, it's, they must look up and 10 minutes have gone past, and it's kind of what we need to do something now. That early goal is so important in games like this, like Frankie said. And I think the QPR game, it helped settle us. The longer that went on, it could have been different. I think that's where we faltered at Leicester. We didn't get that early goal, and then we went behind. That's got to be key this weekend, right? Is get after them early, get in front if we can, and then they will have to adapt their game to try and match what we want to do, and then we can be a bit more comfortable without the ball and play our game then.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, the early chances we had with Leicester, I think it didn't help obviously when Coburn go off hurt.
Huge.
If he didn't get challenged, which it was a good challenge, it would have been a different story. Personally, I think he would have buried that chance. But you're right. Early goal always sort of simmer the nerves. It takes the stuffing out of your QPRs. It will take your stuffing out of your Leicester. It will take your stuffing out of Oxford. If they concede in the first 10, 15, they'll be like, what's the point? That will honestly be the biggest mind barrier to break down, is them to, because that's what they'll do. They'll say, you'll come here to upset the Millwall party. That's basically their manager's tactics. Upset the
Yeah.
Millwall party, silence the crowd, and and then you'll be able to get in the game. Well, you ain't going to silence the crowd if you're going to score in the first 5-10 minutes, 100%. That's not happening. So yes, that first goal was absolutely crucial in games like this, because at the end of the day, it will take the wind out of their sails. It won't frustrate us. We'll just go and enjoy ourselves. And you never know. QPR could have been 5 or 6. And that's what, hopefully this weekend, again, if we get an early goal, potentially that's what could happen. But yeah, that early goal is absolutely crucial. But as I say, it all depends on how we set ourselves out for the lunchtime kickoff, which I hate saying lunchtime kickoff. I'd rather say 3:00.
Yeah, it could be 3:00, or we could find ourselves on Super Sunday or on Friday night 8:00. So timings could be very much up in the air at the moment. But no, you alluded to how we might set up, and what Oxford might do. So let's jump into our next segment then and look at the opposition under the microscope. And this is a segment where I've picked out a couple of things that I think Oxford do well, and a couple of things that I don't think Oxford don't do, and a couple of things that they don't do very well. And I've tried to keep them entwined with each other because I think that they might relate to each other. And then I'll get your thoughts on what we can do to stop them in the things that they do well, and what we can do to exploit the things that they don't do well. So I'll start with what they do well first. And this coincides with each other, and it's kind of a defensive thing, because they're first in the league for interceptions with 458, and they're second in the league for clearances. Now, you might say that that's because they've been under the cosh quite a lot, and fair enough, that is. But they're very good at it. Yeah, they might concede goals. It's rarely that I've seen, and I'll come to you first, Matt, it's rarely that I've seen that Oxford get proper pumped. You don't see the 4 or 5 nils of that Oxford. It's because they've got some good players. They set up, they've got a style of play that suits them. But they're very good at the back at doing this, the interceptions and the clearances. We'll look at some of the players that contribute to that in the next segment. But what's your thoughts on that? What can we do to exploit that then, and the things that they do good? How do we get around that?
Well, I think the reason why they're probably at the top was because they were defending for their lives over the last few games, or probably the last 10, 12 games, when they were in a relegation battle. So really tricky. I mean, it's tough, as you said. It's the last game of the season. They've got nothing to play. Will they sort of like take their shackles off and not defend as resolute as what they've done, because they know the end product is they're going down? But that just tells me that their midfield and their defence they work well together as a unit. And looking at some of their players that they got, and I know you'll touch base on them, like they've got that Will Volks, they've got Hellick, they've got Brannigan. So they've got some players that have got that experience to like defending numbers, so to speak, from the midfield onwards, and so yeah, I do believe, that they've been on sort of like a backs against the wall mission over the last, well, probably like 3 months or so whilst they've been in this battle. So hence why they're at the top there with those stats that you just highlighted. But again, last game of the season is very similar to the first game of the season, where it's complete lottery of what to expect and what could happen, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and Matt's right, Frankie. Right, look, this is a good stat for them, but there's also a reason, probably a negative reason, as to why them stats are pretty good. But as we've seen, it's tough for us to break these type of teams down that might sit a bit deeper. So, what are you expecting to see? You mentioned some of the players there. I've actually got one or two of them in the matchups. How do we sort of counteract that then with their low block sitting a bit deeper and defending for their lives? And we've seen that we do struggle to break that down.
Yeah, we do. And in terms of how we counter it, I think that the sad matter of fact is, if you look at our side, we're not going to do a Man City pass them off the pitch, create 5 yards of
Or
space.
Bristol City, apparently.
Yeah, Bristol City, apparently, according to what's his name on Twitter?
Oh, I don't even want to. Drew, is it?
Drew,
Fucking
yeah,
got
Drew.
a shit name as well, isn't he? So yeah, shit name,
big up
shit club.
Drew.
Big up Kaiser Drew, whatever his fucking name is.
But yeah, we're not going to pass off the pitch, are we? We're gonna have to. We are almost relying on a moment of magic from one of our better players, with its Negli, Aziz, Ivanovic, as moments in him. Do you know what I mean? These are top players. Or we're looking at set pieces. Is the reality, and hopefully, to Matt's point, once we get that goal, we draw them out, we force them out, and then we're in a football game. And
Yeah,
but you have to draw them out. You have to take your opportunities. We will get chances. They're down there for a reason. I mean, I just had to look now. There's 6 teams that I can see quite quickly that have conceded more goals. So defensively, they're not terrible, even though they are down there. But they've got relegated for a reason, right? So
no, that's it.
we're looking at our big players to create a big moment ultimately for me.
Yeah, and if they're sitting back, that's going to make that more difficult. That's why them stats are there. But the reason that they're probably under the cosh a lot is because what they do pretty poorly is they don't pass the ball very well. They don't make many passes. They don't complete many passes, and they don't score any goals. They're actually bottom of the division for passes completed, and they're 4th bottom for goals scored, which is 45. So they're under the cosh a lot because they can't get the ball out. They don't make many passes. It tends to be a bit of a long ball scenario, get it out to their wingers, and then they try and do so. They scored a lot of goals of late. They've had a bit of a resurgence. They've really fought hard to get out of it. They fought admirably. They didn't go down fighting. But that speaks a lot when they're not passing the ball very, and we haven't made many more passes than them. Let's just put that out there. We're not great in that department either. But they've been relegated because they're under the cosh and they can't get themselves out of it. They can't counter and score goals. We're under the cosh a lot in games, but we're very good defensively and we're quite clinical when we get the ball up the field because we've got better players. So that's where we differ from them. So their bad actually ties into their good as to why their good is technically, if you look at it, bad. What can we do to exploit that then? Because, Matt, surely that allows us now to probably advance a bit forward, probably play, maybe a 10 in this game or maybe 2 8s and stick it on them and stop them from getting out, because the opportunity to turn the ball over is quite high against a team that doesn't pass the ball very well.
I think personally, it's about keeping it simple. And what I mean by that is when
I agree.
When I looked at the Leicester game, and I saw elements of it in after, like when we was 2-1 up or 3-1 up at Stoke, is we get too overconfident as an attacking threat. And what I mean by that is that you have too many individuals then think about getting a bit too arrogant. And, that's great. It's good to have that confidence mindset, but keep the football simple and try and be the world beater of, I'll do this myself. I'll score that worldy goal and, it'll be my name on the score sheet. We need to have the players keep it absolutely, be professional and be simple. Put crosses in the box, look for that open player. Instead of trying to take around 2 or 3 players, you've got a pocket of space, whip it in on the wing, whip it in, get whoever's up front, knock it in. If you're running through the middle and there's a player that's pulled out wide, put the through ball in. Don't worry about taking it around 2 or 3 players. Just put the through ball in. Keep the football simple. And that way we'll beat this team easily. And I think there's elements of that where I've seen in the last few games where we've just got too overconfident and we want to try and be world beaters. We are not there yet. We're not there yet. If we had, a bit more freedom to play, by all means, crack on. But at this current moment, keep the football nice and simple. Stay in your lanes, stick to the job description, and then we'll fly through this game easily. And now I think that's where we need to like sort of act on Saturday.
Sounds easy, Frank, doesn't it? Keep it simple, do the basics, win the game.
He's right, though, isn't he? He's right. Like it's not it's maybe not the analysis people are after, but
Football's
it is.
an easy game, really, isn't it?
Football's simple game, yeah, and yeah, exactly. Let the ball do the talking. I think there's listening to what they're bad at. Again, looking at how we need to win the game, I think there's a degree for me here of that they're not going to do what Norwich did and start the game with the ball at their feet for the first 10 minutes and just take all the sting out of the crowd. We are probably going to start with a decent amount of possession. We need to move the ball quickly, right? Keep the ball moving, keep the crowd excited. And as long as we can keep it on the front foot, I think we've got half a chance, because then you can start committing people forward. To Matt's point, these are no mugs. They are still a professional football team. They have got threat, and I don't want to ruin your segment, Jason. I'm not going to start naming names, but they have got threats on the break. They have, like, funny, we know Maku's quick as one player just to call out. So we have to keep them honest. But if they're not going to want to have the ball, we're going to have to do something we're not particularly comfortable with. And we're going to have to dominate possession. We're going to have to dominate that midfield. And if we can do that, we'll win.
Yeah, I do agree. And it is very much, Matt's right. Do the basics right. Football is a simple game. We have got the quality. We have got the players to unlock a team that is already relegated. And I think what happened at Leicester is we did feel the pressure slightly. It didn't help with the injuries. We lost Taylor and Coburn. We lost Taylor before the game, which you'd think we would have prepared. We would have had the mentality set before stepping on the field. Losing Coburn as early as we did absolutely derailed that game. I've got full confidence we'd have won that game if Coburn was on the pitch. Even if Coburn wouldn't have contributed as much, just everything we do goes through Coburn. The ball goes up to him. He brings other people in. He takes the defender away. We lost that, right? We lost that. And that's a big reason we didn't come out and win that game. But it is a game of basics. But they have got good players, like Matt and yourself have alluded to. So let's have a look at some of these players and what they can do to hurt us and how we can stop them in their traps. In our next segment, the key matchups. So I've picked out 3 players, guys, and this is a segment where you kind of state the obvious, right? But stating the obvious is what Alex Neil needs to do. If you stop these 3 players or you win these battles against these 3 players, we should win the football game. Speaking to how simple football is. And the first one I've gone with Helik at the back. He's a monster. I think he's a big-time player. I think he's a championship player, a real good championship defender. He's 5th in the league for blocks. He's clearly the one that throws himself in front of the ball. He's a big lad as well. He's he's physical. He wants to get in and around strikers. He wants to muscle his way in there and assert his authority. He's good in both boxes. It's hard for me to say who he's going to be up against this week because, Ivanovic took a nasty smack to the nose. Coburn, we might not be available. It may be a game, and I don't want to give anything away or touch onto our starting 11s. Do you get a bit quick and nippy around him and try and play around him rather than trying to go up against him? We know Coburn can do that, but we can't really talk like Coburn's going to play. I think he'll be all right. I think he may be available, but let's think with what we've got absolutely available right now, and Helik's going to be a problem for that front line.
Completely agree, mate. I completely agree. I think you look at Helik and you think to yourself, if we could guarantee Coburn starting, you're not worried about him at all.
No.
You're not the same way you weren't really particularly worried about Vestergaard or Suter the other day. You're thinking Coburn deals with them. He occupies both of them. No questions asked. If we are looking at the Serb, is the Serb going to want to go and get into a battle the same way Coburn would? No. So, that instantly changes how we play. And we are looking for Ivanovic to, you're almost sitting there going, mate, you've got 90 minutes to make yourself a hero. Just turn up for 90 minutes, please, mate. Langstaff's an interesting one. I just, whilst he's quick and he's nippy, I just don't think he has the movement to threaten him behind. And these are going to drop deep. The reason they dominate clearances and interceptions is because they play in a low block and they don't step out their own 18-yard box. That's not going to suit Ivanovic. So I'm not sure that's that's not going to suit Langstaff. So yeah, I'm not sure Langstaff's the answer. I think probably I would go Ivanovic if Coburn isn't fit, but he's going to have to man up a little bit.
I agree. What's your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, he's got wealth of experience. He was at Barnsley in Huddersfield, so proper true Northern grit, centre half mindset. Pace is the big one for me, and we'll come to we'll select our 11, and that's why I've chosen it. But he's a no nonsense defender, and and that's, as I say, back again to dealing with the basics. Our basics on that will be, right, well, we're not going to beat him with height. Ivanovic, he does his best to, us obviously, if he starts, does win knock-on headers, but then again, he does not win knock-on headers. If Ivanovic does play and he's against him, then he needs to use his quick, youthful brain and his quick feet, really, to get past round him. He is a good defender, but he's not God. Okay, so he is beatable. I think we need to use our brains and say, right, how do we play this guy? Let's not get sucked into the type of football he enjoys, which probably is long ball up to the big man up front, and he'll win it. So we don't play to his strengths, but he is a strong leader at the back, and probably one that, again, when we look at like defensive clearances, one where they rely on him to be there when it comes to defending an attacking threat.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is going to be a problem that Neil's going to have to navigate, depending on what striker we've got available and what we think will become apparent in a moment. But the next one I've gone for is plainly obvious as well, because I think if you stop this individual, you pretty much probably stop the entirety of Oxford's attack, the entirety of their movement. Everything goes through him, and that's Brannigan. I think Brannigan's absolutely class. I think he's top drawer in this division. I'd love him in a Millwall shirt. He's going to not be short of suitors, that is for sure, which is probably a big reason why he's probably going to be really up for it. He's an Oxford through and through. He's a proper, a bit of a fan favourite for them. He obviously loves the club. I don't think he'll stay there, but everything they're going to want to do to look good and to put a show on for their fans will go through him. Interestingly enough, he's actually second in the division for goals outside of the box. He likes to hit them. He hit one against us, which was an absolute peach into that top corner. He's got it about him. Which seems like every time I watch Oxford on the telly, Callum Brannigan's hitting an absolute screamer. That's something we've got to get hold of, right? Because we tend to not get out as quick as I would like to. I'm in the stands going, right, step out. Come on, step up now. We tend to clear the ball off the edge of our box and then just stay resolute in our shape. We don't really get out of the traps and shut the second ball down. That worries me. Callum Brannigan could be a real big problem in this game if we don't get a hold of him. If we stop him, we win the game, in my opinion. I think it's that easy. Stop that one player. We could talk about Heelick and the other players that I've got, but I think stop Callum Brannigan, you win the game of football.
Yeah, again, mate, I completely agree. You look at his stats, he's got, 9 goal contributions this year, 6 goals, 3 assists, so it's clearly a danger. I think the thing about the long shots is an interesting one. It does worry me a little bit around Derek in particular, because you do think to yourself, you've got to be really switched on. And he does, when we're defending, he likes to almost drop into almost like another centre back, and he does sit really deep. So you're pretty much looking at Casper going, you're the experienced guy in this midfield. You're the one that's done this before. You need to make sure you are on his toes every single time. Casper's got to be capable of doing that job, right? Let's be honest. I mean, he's one of the best midfielders in this league. So you'd back him. I think it's an interesting one, Brannigan. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a match winner. Do you know what I mean? I think it's maybe similar to like a Billy Mitchell or a Casper Denor. I don't worry about him per se. It's other than them long shots, which I think if we're switched on, it shouldn't be an issue.
That's interesting. What's your thoughts, Matt? Not a match winner. I mean, I think he's great. I really do. I think he makes them tick. That's interesting from Frankie. But the shots, long shots, outstanding.
Yeah, and I mean he's a Liverpool boy as well, so he's come through the ranks at Liverpool, so he's got that now sort of being within that sort of mindset. But I think with Brannigan, he's very similar to what Bannon was for Sheffield Wednesday. Everything goes through him. You take him out of the game, the team will capitulate. And you're absolutely right. He's the one we need to stop. Do I see him next year? He's not a League One player. 100% he's not a League One player. He's definitely a Championship player. And yeah, well, I mean, you don't know what his contract status is like. Just saying. Who knows whatever league we're in, that, by the way. But
if we're a Championship club next year, would you take Brannigan?
100%. I think so. I think we would. I think
Frankie's shaking his head. Does he get in this team? Where does he rank in our centre midfielders we've got now? Assuming, let's just pretend that Billy's got a new contract. He's here. You've got Derek, Billy, Casper, Banner. Where would you put him in ranking of that? Does he get in this team?
Yeah, me. Well, I think he's on par with Billy Mitchell. I know people might say that, but he's always been a pain in the arse to us. That's the thing. Obviously, I've not seen him against other teams, but every time he plays against us, he seems to up his game, or if that is his game. But I see him on par as same as Bill. I mean, bearing in mind we probably won't have small bone next year either, or the treatment table will probably have small bone next year, and we won't have Luongo. But yeah, I see him on par with Bill. I know probably some of your listeners and viewers won't enjoy what I've just said there, but that's where I see him. He's a stalwart. He's Mr. Oxford, and as I say, we cut the service to him. We'll win. Yeah, this will be a breeze. And those long shots are a bit of a concern. We're not very good from defending from long shots, so our midfield just needs to keep a good eye on him. To make sure that he doesn't have that opportunity to shoot from distance. Saying that, it's got to be some worldie to beat past Patterson. That's what I'm just saying, putting it out there.
Frankie's ready to absolutely shut down the move. Not happy with it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have him, mate. I wouldn't. I think I would have when we were a Garrett football team.
I agree with that.
I think that was the sort of player we used to look at when we used to look at the likes of Jason Malombi and Alex Mowat, and none of them are bad players, by the way. I'm not sitting there slating them, but the players you've just named for us, I mean, you can kind of squabble around the order, but is he a definite improvement on Casper Denor? No. Is he a definite improvement on Mitchell? No. Is he a definite improvement on the likes of Derek, Dan Kelly, and whoever else you've got coming through? No. So he's 29 years old. He's a steady Championship player. If he goes Charlton next year, that's a very good signing for Charlton. He's not high level.
Fair.
We're better than Callum Brannigan now. Fair enough. And I think you're right in a sense. I think we'd have to start aiming higher than players like that, even if we are still in the Championship, because we are a top end Championship team. We've got to start acting like it. Moving on to the last player that I think is going to cause us a problem.
He'll score now, by the way.
He will do it.
And I've ruined all our Saturday, so I sort of apologise to everyone.
Yeah, he will do. And then we'll sign him, and then he'll start for us next year. Billy will end up.
I'll go in the tap room and tell you I told you so.
Yeah, no, exactly that. The last one I've gone for then is the young man on loan from Tottenham Hotspur, Lancashire up front. I mean, I watched him the other night, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched much of him. But he was electric the other. I mean, he is something. He's going to be a proper player, maybe for Tottenham in the Championship next year. You never know. But look, he got 2 goals last time out. He's got 11 goals in 43 games for them this season. He's a big lad. He's 6'2". He's quite physical. He's big. He's quick. He can get him behind. I don't really see much of a flaw in his game in the limited times that I've watched him. I think I'd fancy Cooper in this matchup. Without Caleb Taylor, I would have probably fancied Taylor to get around him a bit more, because I think Taylor's got the mobility. He likes to do more with his feet, Taylor, as well. He gets them sort of low blocks, and he tends to go to ground a lot, Taylor, at the back with his blocks. And I think stopping the shot and stopping the run from Lancashire would have been Taylor's game. But challenging Cooper with this one. And I would challenge Ibrahimovic against Cooper for the size, the physicality, and the aggression. And Cooper, for me, would still come out on top. I think our 2026 Player of the Year, we should have this one wrapped up quite comfortably. But he is a problem, Lancashire. But I challenge the big man to deal with this one, Frank.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%. I think we talk about flaws in his game. I think the one thing you'd really sort of look at, I think there's an opportunity for him to improve. I don't think he has much threat in behind, which is probably the one weakness of Cooper. You look at, I think that's something you feel uncomfortable with, right? If people want to get in behind him and run the channels, Will Lancashire is not respectfully not going to do that. It's not his game. He's very much a centre forward, much more in the mould of Coburn or Ivanovic, right? So. And we talk about players from Oxford that I'd like to sign. I know he's technically a Tottenham player, but if he was available in the summer, I'd 100% have Will Lancashire. I think the guy's spectacular. I mean, 11 goals so far this year for a poor Oxford side? That's some going. He's a very, very good player. I think Cooper will be fine. And whoever partners Cooper, whether that be Crammer, Leonard, someone else, I think they'll be right as well, to be honest with you. But he'll keep us honest. He's a vocal point, so we've got to be switched on.
Yeah, on loan, Matt from Tottenham, 21 years old in a relegated side, has bagged 11 goals this season.
No, very good. I mean, to be honest, I mean, it must be saying with his contract, but I'm surprised Tottenham didn't recall him with their ongoing injury problems. But that's by the by. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Frank. I'd have him in the Millwall shirt easily all day long. He's a very talented individual, bagged load of goals for the second string Tottenham team as well. So I mean, and I think he's had experience when last year in the Europa, whatever European League they were in last year. But no, I think he's a threat. I mean, to be fair, I mean you listed a couple of players, like those three players, and I was just thinking to myself, I like that Palchetta on the wing as well. He was another one of my sort of like kick, and him against.
He hasn't been in a squad for a while.
Oh,
that's why I left him out. Yeah, that's why I left him out. I mean, I would have put the wingers in there, but they seem to chop and change it every week at the moment.
And then you got, is it Harris? Who's, I think, is he a Welsh international as well?
Yeah,
so
I like him. I do like Harris.
Yeah, but yeah, no, he's but yeah, no, with Lancashire. I mean, again, it's a tough one. I still think it's a tough one. Will we play? Will Lancashire play being a loney? You know, knowing that this is his last game for Oxford, potentially could go back to Spurs and finish out, maybe give them a bit of that boost attacking threat. So, you know, as I said, last game of the season, you just don't know what team's going to turn up. But if he did turn up, then yeah, it's going to be, he will cause our defensive two problems, not major problems, but he'll cause them some problems. And yeah, bagged a couple of goals last time out, albeit it was a Sheffield Wednesday team. And who are already down and out. But you know, he's a talented individual, 20, 21 years of age, got a good future ahead of him. And you know what, if he turns out to be the same as our Harry Kane, then you know, good luck to the boy. But I'd like to have him in a Millwall shirt next year, definitely.
Yeah, good.
Before you jump in, Jay, one thing I forgot to say this. I think he was at West Brom
West Brom
years
last
ago.
season, 2025, he was at West Brom.
He was shocking.
11 appearances, yeah.
He was terrible. And if there's ever an example of someone like for Serb, where you sit in the game, do what he's done, where you've learnt the league a little bit more, you've bulked up a little bit, you've got a bit nastier. That's the Serb should be looking at and take a bit of inspiration from. Because I think he's stepped up massively this year compared to the player that we saw for West Brom last year. It was absolutely terrible. The thing about Tottenham, if he was 20, they could take him back and he wouldn't need to be registered. Because he's 21, I don't think they can register him. So that's maybe why they haven't. But otherwise,
they just lost Solanke as well, haven't they, Tottenham? So that's probably a bit of a problem for him. Maybe they get Troy Parrott back. I don't know. He was one who struggled in the Championship and seems to be lighting it up wherever he's at now, really Alkmaar or whatever it is. You never know. You could have Parrott and Lancashire up. Just turned 21, yeah. So he's out of limits for them at the moment, which is a shame for them. Or it could be a benefit for the Championship. But we will see. But they're the three players that we think are going to cause us a problem. They're the things that Oxford do well and do good. And let's have a look now at what we think the team should be to be able to exploit these matchups and exploit these good and bad issues that Oxford propose in the next segment, and our final segment being our starting 11s. Now, I'll go first with mine just because I've got it off the cuff, guys, and be interested to get your take on it as well. But I don't want to get shot down in the comments for this, but I'm purely going off of, availability or guaranteed availability and what I think we've lacked in recent weeks. I've actually gone with Anthony Patterson in goal, obviously. I think Pato's been outstanding this season. Sturge at left back as well. I think he's been outstanding this season. And the 2026 Player of the Year, Captain Fantastic, Lion Leader, legend Jake Cooper at the back. I've gone with his partner at centre-back as Ryan Leonard. And I've gone with Tristan Kramer sitting out at right back. I just think that playing Oxford, I don't think we need Tristan Kramer to play centre half in this game. I think Ryan Leonard has played centre half and he's been very, very good at centre half. What I think we really do lack is if we want to get an early goal and we want to see this game out early, go for the win and stick Tristan Kramer at right back. Get him to get up. Pin their wingers back. If it is a marker, if it is Palchetta, whoever it may be, pin them back. Give Aziz the time, give him the space, give him the lack of sort of tracking to be able to get on the ball, make something happen really, really quickly. I think we win the game early doors if Kramer is playing at right back. We really lack that attacking intensity, that outlook when Kramer's not playing at right back. Femi has to come far too deep to pick the ball up and he has to travel too far with it. And I don't think Femi's blessed with blistering pace or stamina. So I think Kramer gives him the ability to retain some of that and he can be very effective with it. So that's my back five. I've actually gone with a 6 and 2 8s again. My 6, I've gone with Casper de Norway, and you actually hit the nail on the head, Frankie, with your explanation of stopping Brannigan, which is the exact reason why I went with Casper and not Derek, is because, again, I think we have to go and win the game. Derek is very defensive minded. He sits deeper. He does occupy the centre arse when we push forward, which is good. But I just want us to be a little bit more adventurous. And I think Casper can still do that job as a 6. He is a defensive midfielder. He's a defensive player by trade. He played right wing back for many times before moving into central midfield. I think stick him in the 6, let him mop up, let him have his intelligence, his experience, deal with the Brannigan on the edge of the box, deal with the output that Oxford are going to give. He can see things that others might not see. And Derek is still raw, albeit played some very good games. But this is about winning the game right now. I've then gone with Barry Bannon and Camille Negley as the 2 8s. I think just get Bannon in there. Just get him in there to try and unlock this back line, try and get Heelick on his toes, try and get defenders running back and give him the time on the ball. We're going to have the time on the ball with how deep Oxford sit. We've seen that. They don't make many passes. We can turn the ball over quickly. Barry Bannon, if there is ever a game to bring Barry Bannon in, it's Oxford at home last day of the season to try and get a spot in the Premier League. If you don't play him, then, I mean, it's just wild that he's even here. And Camille Negley is just Camille Negley, right? He does everything for this football club. He's everywhere. I actually think Camille Negley is so much better as an 8. I think that's his best position. I don't think he's a 10 and I don't think he's a winger. I think he's an 8. I think he picks the ball up, he creates, he can move, he can defend very well. Get him in there with Barry Bannon, let them both dictate. I've gone with Ballo out wide. Very impressed with Ballo. Very, very impressed in the fact that he was put out of the team and Neil gave him a task for him to get back in the team, and he's done that. I think he's upped his physicality. He doesn't look big up, but he's upped the way he deals with the defensive side of the game. He's getting stuck in. He's throwing his body about. He's going to ground. Might not win it all the time, but he's putting them under pressure. He's forcing them to make decisions. He's playing really, really well lately. He's putting some delightful balls. Nearly scored a really good header at Leicester, and he scored in the away game at Oxford as well. So I've gone with him and Aziz out wide. Where it gets a bit tedious is I've actually gone with Macaulay Langstaff up front as a striker. I think that he took his goal exceptionally well. It's a fantastic goal to get behind the front line, like to have the instinct and then to finish it. I think with Ivanovic having that, we don't know the damage extent to his nose. Has he broke his nose? Is it that bad? He looked really off it after that. Coburn, I don't know the status of Coburn either. So I'm purely going off of what I know is available right now, what's put to us today. If they're both fit, obviously I think it'd be Ivanovic. I think you have to. He's got 9 goals this season. Or Coburn for the same reason. He's got 10 goals this season. I just think with Langstaff, he hasn't had the opportunity to play as a striker. I think he's done the job that he probably doesn't want to do. He's done a bit of a seamless job, a bit of a thankless task where he's just been asked to press and run around. And he's limited opportunities. He hasn't really been able to shine through doing that. We've got 10 points through goals that he scored. I think give him a chance at being the leading man up front. Camille Negley and Barry Bannon feeding him through the channels, balls out wide with the pace of Ballo and Femi, and just put balls across the box, play him in behind, get him running into the channels past Heelig, let him cause a different kind of problem. Then when you win the game, you can shore it up a little bit more. You can bring Ivanovic on, you can bring Derek on, you can put Kramer at centre half, stick Lenny back out there. You can make changes to adapt. I think you have to go and try and win the game first. And I do think that with Ivanovic being up top on his own and Langstaff being somewhat of a 10, I don't think that will do it for us. I really, really don't. So why not give the guy a shot as a striker and see what you've got, because we might need to use him in the playoffs. We don't know yet if it is a playoff berth that we occupy. So that's what I've gone with, 4-3-3. There's my explanation. Get at me in the comments if you don't like it, or you two get at me now. What are your thoughts on it? What don't you like?
I see your logic with most of it. I'm not sure I agree.
You just think I'm fucking mental with it. That's what
I'm hearing you. You're wrong, but I hear you. But no, look, I mean, football's a game of opinions, right? And my 11's quite different to yours.
If we all agreed, we wouldn't have a show, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say I'm right. There's a reason we're all here, not in the dugout, because none of us got a clue. But yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll take you through my 11, and when I go through it, I'll tell you where I kind of differ for you and why then might be easier.
Let's do that, yeah.
I've got Crocombe in goal. No, I'm joking.
I see Matt then, like...
in it about doing another marathon to come out my ass and smash me up. Patterson in goal. It's got to be in it. It's obvious.
Yeah.
Like you, Jay, I've gone Crammer right back, Lenny, Cooper, Sturge. I actually quite like Leonard at centre back. I think with his age now, his lack of mobility, it suits him because he's still physical and he's still dominant, and he's, for a centre back, he's quick. For a right back, he's not. So, and Crammer, right, has got what, six assists this year. We're going to need that attacking output, so keep him out wide. We looked much better against Leicester when we went back to Crammer at right back, so stick with that. I've kept Denor and Derek. The reason I've kept Derek in there as opposed to changing the formation or bringing in Bannon, I just think we look so much worse. We haven't got his physicality and his ability to get up and down the pitch. So that's why I've kept Derek in there. I think just his mobility, and I'm hoping that being like a 20-year-old or whatever he is now is going to play without fear, and we're going to need some of that. We're going to need some guile and some bravery. And I think he is that.
Yeah,
so I'll keep Derek in there. I also think if you're looking at someone off the bench later in the game, Bannon, as you saw against Leicester, actually is a difference maker. Derek ain't coming to make a difference in changing that game if you start with Bannon. So that's why I keep Derek in there. Aziz out right, Negley in the 10, Ballo left. Completely agree with everything you said about Ballo. It's been a revelation to come back in. Negley in the 10, I think, is an interesting one because I think in his last 2 games, he's been, pre-Leicester, so Stoke and QPR, I thought he was absolutely exceptional. And I think it's probably the first time this season we've seen someone play in a 10 and have any level of impact on the game because he's been able to get close to the centre forward because of his ridiculous engine. So I'd keep Negley in there. And I also think that he's a confident player in a minute, and we're going to need someone to take chances and make things happen. They're going to play with a low block, so someone that can actually make them difficult runs and turn up in spaces and be difficult to mark will be key. We're going to need his intelligence. And I think the guy, I said about match winners earlier, I think the guy is a big game player. So that's why, again, he's in that 10 for me. And sticking with big game players, I actually think Ivanovic has got one of them head case personalities where he'll look at Saturday and think, I'll be the hero. Do you know what I mean? We saw it a little bit last season when we needed someone to step up and score a goal. Burnley away, he did it. Luton away, he did it. There's been a couple of times this year, actually, where he stepped up and scored some important goals. So he's not been himself this year, Ivanovic. He's not been as good. but I back him. I back him in one game. He'll get a goal. He might not play well, but he'll score. So yeah, 4-2-3-1, and that's my formation. So that's kind of where I've differed from you, and some rationale as to why.
No, great. And where do you differ from the pair of us then, Matt? What have you gone with?
Right, from my football manager days. No, I'm only joking. Right, so I've gone with the interest of saying, well, we go out from minute one. The back five speaks itself. I agree with all you, though. I have gone Leonard as our right back, and the only reason is I feel like his deliveries are better than Kremer's. So Aziz, if he came as a
Agree.
backup for Aziz, I think Leonard can deliver the ball into the box better than Kremer.
Yeah.
He's got a long throw on him. That's irrelevant when it comes to being a player on the pitch because we just fill him in. But I've purely seen kept him right back because of his delivery. Saying that, I'm going with the basis of like most of the threat through Oxford will come down the middle. I've gone 4-4-2 diamond in midfield, so Casper is the holding. Again, just keep an eye on that Brannigan, and I've actually pushed Delboy forward. I saw QPR on TV. I couldn't make it. I saw the Leicester game on TV, and obviously the Stoke one, but he has got an eye for a pass. You'd be surprised what he can see. His
He can
passing
play.
ability. He's got a fantastic eye for a ball. And I was thinking if he just pushes up and feeds the ball to the front two, which I'll go on to very shortly, I think he'll be a perfect acquisition of being in that pushed up midfield player 4-4-2 diamond. Saying that, obviously we're under the cosh. He can come back and obviously he'll be the engine going back to fourth. And in all retrospect, they, get the game won early, then we can do the necessary changes in the subs. Aziz on the right says it all. I've actually gone Negley on the left, and I've gone with two up top with Langstaff and the Serb, with Langstaff dropping back. So unfortunately, I have done a sacrificial drop of Ballo. Not saying he's been bad, but with my sort of thought process that, if I wanted to, I think Langstaff deserves a shot. And you're exactly what you boys have said. He was a good goal against Leicester. It was a really, really worked
Great
goal.
goal.
Nice little flick on by Leonard. And he tucked that in the corner really well. So do you know what? From that, he deserves a shout. But the fact that he could be the one, as we said, run round the centre half hillock, be a little terrier. I mean, I laugh and I say Langstaff's just a headless chicken, runs around. But to be fair, if he has a bit of pace and get running into these little channels, he can do a job. Saying that, also, if Negley does want to get a bit too overconfident in himself, which he does, and can I just say, as much as it's a game about opinion, how on earth he did finish in the top three of player of the year, I just do not know because he was my vote. Negley was my player of the season.
It's
Just saying.
class.
So I was a bit
Me
surprised
too.
he didn't get in the top three. But hey ho, it was a tough choice really. But if Negley decides to come in and suck inside the middle, Langstaff's got that necessary nous to say, right, well, I'll just cover your position. I'll go on to the left. So I was looking about player rotations as well in my mindset. So Negley on the left, Aziz on the right, Langstaff up front with Serb, maybe tuck back a little bit, but to be up there and go at them. And like I say, get 2 goals in the first, doing QBR, get 2 goals in the first 15 minutes, potentially get 3. Then I'd look at ringing around the changes. And that's sort of like, what bench do we have? Well, give Kremer, if we won the game at half time, then we could do the likes of take Kremer off, rest him, McNamara on a right back, potentially be his last game for the club, might give him a little bit of a swan song, bring Bannon on. You're absolutely right. These games are about Barry Bannon gun. But for some reason, couldn't pick I couldn't pick out a player to put him in. So, but bring him on, do we give Watson an opportunity more than 10 minutes? Probably not, because he hasn't really done much, if I'm brutally honest with you. And then, have we, if the game has one, will we put some youngsters on the bench? I mean, it'd be great if someone like a Lovelace got an opportunity or a Sheldon
Yeah.
Kendall, for example. It depends on how the game
Or
goes. So,
Lamptey.
or a Lamptey, 100%. Yeah. So, but yeah, that'd be my team anyway. And it's a tough one to call because it's a case of, well, we got to go for the win. We don't care what happens elsewhere. Let's just go for the win And if it's nailed on that we got third place, great. If it's nailed on we got second place, or now like it's an opportunity we got second
Later.
place, then we keep on going. But that's my team. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that I've dropped Bello because I thought it was a surprise bringing him back, and I did think it was all a wise decision, but I was proven wrong against last few games, definitely. But I'll definitely have to put Langstaff in. He would be my sacrificial person, really.
Yeah, no, excellent. Good teams. And look, 3 very contrasted teams. So look, guys, get in the comments. Tell us what you changed. Tell us, your reasons behind your teams, and let us know what you think with your predictions as well, which is what we'll do now. So I'm going to stick you both on the spot. Go on in, Frankie. What you saying at the weekend? What's your prediction? Are we going up automatically, or are we going to be in the playoffs, and who scores and who wins the game at the weekend?
We are going to win. We're going to win 2-0. Ivanovic is going to get 1, as is Camille Negley. And I'm not just saying this because we're on a Millwall podcast and you have to say it. You have to keep the faith and you have to say we're going to go up, we're going to do it, blah, blah, blah. I genuinely believe we will go up on the final day. And for anyone that's not seen that tweet the other day, I talked about the Millwall story. When I was sitting there writing it out, I was sitting there crying into my phone, ready to storm the beaches of Normandy with the boys. But if there's any club in this league that genuinely deserves to have its day in the sun, it is Millwall Football Club. There's been so much shit, whether that be the FA trying to stitch us up, John, Matty, we've gone through it with Blackburn. We've seen some shit. This club deserves a moment, and Saturday will be that moment. We will be a Premier League football club next year. We'll be a Premier League football club Sunday.
You make me want to run for a walk now. I might have to change into another white shirt because I'm starting to sweat in this one, since we've all got white shirts on. Matt, follow up, mate. What are you saying? Are we a Premier League football club come Sunday? Are we winning the game on Saturday? What you got?
I think we're going to win. I think we will win. And I think it'll be more than 2-0. We need to smash a team. I know we did do it against Charlton. They didn't lay a finger on us, but it was still the last 10 minutes.
I wouldn't call him a team, though.
But I think we need to. It needs to be a take. Well, we go out and we win 3 or 4 again, maybe even more. But I don't know. I want to say we're going to do it, but my heart says no, but my head says yes. We are going to do it. I think. I don't know about QPR. I mean, if they turn up like they did against us, we only got cat over some chance of getting that second spot. They were embarrassing. But it's the last game of the season. Is the pressure on them? On Ipswich, possibly, but they've got a very, very good manager at the helm that could probably compose them. If we don't get second spot, it's good we need to cement that third place. And that's the big one, because that's the team that comes sixth. I'd rather play the team who's sixth than the team in 4th and 5th at the moment, because I think we'll have a better chance of getting through personally. So I think we'll. I'm going to say, I'm going to hate you. You're going to hate me. I'm going to say no. We're not going to get promoted. We're going to win. It's going to be a celebration more than anything else, And I think, and regardless of what happens, it's been an absolute phenomenal season, regardless. And I predicted at the beginning of the season that we'd finish 4th, and I'm really pleased that my prediction came very close. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit. We're going to be caught short. Either way, it's been a great season, and we should embrace what we've done this season 100%. And please remember to keep off the pitch.
Yes, I agree with everything you both said. I mean, I do think we'll win the game as well. I think we'll win 2-0. I think Langstaff scores, and I think Casper gets a goal as well. I think he just hits one from the edge of the box. He likes to get in them little pockets. I think we'll win 2-0. I think we'll win the game. Do I think we go up? Do I think we're a Premier League club on Sunday? I do. And I've been quite you see me in the chat, I predicted Norwich. I went, no, Norwich were going to lose 2-1. I predicted that we'll draw with Leicester. I predicted that we'll thump Stoke. Been pretty bang on with my predictions at the moment. I actually prayed to God and I'm not religious, but at half time in the Middlesbrough game, I literally looked out my window and went, please somehow find a way to win this game and send us up just once, just this year. And then Coburn went on and scored 2 goals. And I thought, it might be on. And then West Brom happened and this round. I said, well, if you're going to do it, you're making it a bit hard, aren't you? But last day of the season, we've got a chance. I do. I think the stars are going to align. Just something's telling me it will. It has to, because I don't think my nervous system, my heart, anything, I don't think I can handle the playoffs. I genuinely don't think I can handle sitting through the playoffs, and then even worse, sitting at a Wembley and, going through the emotions of that. I just don't know if I'd be able to handle it in my body. But I do think we're going to go up, and then we're all going to be back down the tap room after absolutely having it up. I was going to say smashing it up then, but then it won't do well with the partners.
We won't do that.
We won't do that. But yeah, no, I do. And what an exciting time. To last day of the season, we're talking about automatic promotion. What a testament it's been for the last 2 years, going from a club legend coming in to save us with 12 games left to keep us in the Championship. We're now talking about 90 minutes away from going out of the Championship and going up to the Premier League. So remarkable what JB has done, remarkable what Gallen's done, what Neil's done, what these players have done. It's been remarkable whatever happens in what could be, if we win on Saturday, the greatest ever points total season at this level. So yeah, just pack the den, get behind the boys, and let's see what we can do. We can only do our job. With that,
do you know how many final day heartbreaks we've had?
Oh, too many.
Like it's not just Blackburn.
No,
there's Burnley.
Yeah,
there's Bournemouth. Where if we'd won that, we'd have got playoffs.
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Don't.
Stern John in the last.
Stern John. Fucking hate Stern John.
We are due a day in the sun, and Saturday. If there is a God, he wouldn't want Millwall to do anything. But no, if there is any form of like cosmic fucking justice out there in any way, do you know what I mean? We have waited, and we are so deserving of this moment, and it will happen. It will happen. It has to.
I'm with you. Right.
I think. I agree. I mean, like I say, sorry, just I can't have the players. I'm not available for the playoff final. I can't do it. No, I'm not around. I can't go to Wembley. I literally cannot. My day's booked out.
Where are you?
I'm at Comic-Con with my 13-year-old daughter for her birthday.
She'll love Wembley, mate. Don't worry about that. Just tell her you go and take her Wembley.
Take her to Wembley. That'd be funnier than Comic-Con. Let me tell you, that's where you'll get. That'd be more comic fitting. Let me tell you.
Comic-Con. No, but it's been good fun, regardless.
It has, and look, this is the last warm up we're doing of the regular season. It's been a bit of a whirlwind for us as a podcast, and we thank everybody for their contribution, for how fast we're rising up your channels, and everybody's been so great. So what a way we could end our first ever half season as a podcast with Millwall going to the Premier League. So let's do it. Let's get into our final matters of business. So as I said, the tap room will be open from 11 a.m. Come and join us. Come and see us before the game. You can bring your pets. You can bring your kids. It's a very friendly orientated environment. It's £5.50 for a pint, and it is 2.5%, which means you can have a couple and you will not miss any of the action. We'll also be back thereafter, where we hopefully will be having a mass celebration. So Matt, Frankie, myself, a few of the other guys will be down there just to either drown our sorrows and talk about who we want in the playoffs or what we got in the playoffs, or we'll be getting a little bit worse for wear with talking about Man City at home for the first game of next season, and do we sign Mickey van der Ven from Tottenham when they go down?
Does he get inside Emma Cooper, mate? Does he get inside?
Does he absolutely? Don't get over Sturge. Absolutely not. But that's that then. Well done for making it through another episode of the 1885 show. And as requested, your most anticipated segment, our giveaway, our first ever giveaway. Frankie, what have we got for our listeners? How can they get involved? How do they win this item?
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it already, I mean, we've put it on Twitter. We've had a couple of shows already, but we have got this signed Millwall 2025-26 home shirt signed by the Matchday squad. It's got all your key players in there. You've got all your big names. And it could be a side that gets us into the Premier League for only our second ever time. You definitely don't want to miss it. How do you win it? So we won't be giving the shirt away until we get to 750 subscribers on YouTube. We are just shy of 600 now. We are quickly making progress. Why are we holding on? Why are we waiting until then? Basically, the more subscribers we get, the more opportunity we have to do fun stuff like this. It gives us the flexibility to give you better content, more original content, more content, and fun giveaways like this sort of stuff. If you want more of this sort of thing, make sure you're subscribed. If you're already subscribed, you're probably thinking, well, there's nothing more I can do. You're absolutely wrong. Reach out to all your friends, reach out to all your family, anyone that you know that is a Millwall fan, just a football fan in general. Get them subscribed to the 1885 show so we could do more stuff like this. So help spread the word. Once we get to 750 subscribers, we will be giving this shirt away. It'll be absolutely free to enter. We'll sort of announce near the time how to win. But it'll be absolutely free, and it is a once in a lifetime opportunity to get a potentially historic bit of memorabilia. So do what you can and make sure you support the channel. That's how you win it. And before we sign off, I just want a massive thank you to all the boys, really. Jay, massive thank you to yourself. We obviously decided to do this not that long ago. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a learning experience. It's been trying at times, a bit testing, but it's been so much fun. So a massive thank you to yourself, mate. It's been unbelievable half season. Massive thank you to all the boys as well, whether you're one of our newer members like Matt, who's been an incredible support since you joined, or one of the original ones. I'm not going to list you all because I'll forget someone and feel guilty after, but you know who you are. You've been incredible. Thank you to our sponsors as well. To give us flexibility to do some fun stuff and support the channel. And thank you to our viewers and subscribers. We're overwhelmed every single week by the reception we get and how many of you turn out and back the content and show us your love. So thank you so much to everyone. I mean, our last warm up of the season for the regular season. So I just wanted to thank you all, really. It's been a great year.
Excellent stuff. I haven't even got anything more to add to that. So I think we'll end on a really, really high note. That's been Matt. I've been Jay. That's been Frankie. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Lions.